Namaste students, welcome to CCE online paper explanation. This is IBPS PO paper number 18. Let's start this. The first 5 questions looks to be from coded inequalities. Let's try to solve this question. What's going on here? In between A and D. The symbols between A and D are opposite. Your answer is cannot be determined. This is wrong. Second, T less than M. What's going on between M and T? Look at this. M. This is M and this is T. Greater than and greater than or equal to. Conclusion is greater than. So what is the conclusion? M is greater than T. Reverse of that is T is less than M. Absolutely right. Only one follows. Only one is true is option 4. Is option 4. Done. Sorry, only 2 is true. The question is the first one. Answer is only 2 is true. Option 3. Next. Second, what's going on here? O greater than or equals to R. So what's common between O and R? The one that connects O and R is I. The one that connects O and R is I. So what is this? O greater than or equals to I greater than or equals to R. Conclusion, O greater than or equals to R. Absolutely right. Next, R less than B. So R and B. Again, what comes in between R and B? The one that connects R and B is I. R less than or equals to I. Look at this. B greater than I. Reverse. I less than B. So R less than B is also absolutely right. So what's the answer? Both 1 and 2 follows option 4. Next. There's nothing to combine. Only one single line. So let's see this. E greater than or equals to L. Bring L directly to the base of T because L is equals to T. L less than or equals to E. L less than or equals to E. Reverse. E greater than or equals to L. Done. Next. L less than or equals to D. Bring this L to the place of T. Bring this D to the place of E. Then what's the answer? L is less than or equals to D. This is also absolutely right. Both 1 and 2 follows. 1 and 2 is true. Option 2. Next. G less than N. What's going on here? G and N opposite symbols cannot be determined. A greater than S. A and S opposite symbols cannot be determined. So your answer is neither 1 nor 2. Option 3. Next. B greater than or equals to S. Problem between B and S opposite symbols cannot be determined. Next. S greater than O. This is S and this is O. In between S and O opposite symbols cannot be determined. So what's the answer? Neither 1 nor 2. First option. Let's see the 6th question. What's going on with the 6th question here? Chalo. 12 people are sitting in 2 parallel rows containing 6 each in such a way that there is an equal distance between adjacent persons. In row 1, A, B, C, D, E, F are seated but not necessarily the same order. All of them are facing south. So row 1, A, B, C, D, E, F. Come on. South. So I've been telling you many times, whenever somebody faces south, our right is their left and our left is their right. And this is north. Who are those people who are facing north? In row 2, P, Q, R, S, T, U are seated and all of them are facing north. P, Q, R, S, T, U, and this is row 2. Done. All of them are facing north. Therefore, in the given seating arrangement, each member seated in the row faces another member in the other row. Look at the size of this question. Hardly 7 to 8 lines. So, yes, this is purely based only on seating arrangement. There is nothing extra to distribute. 7 to 8 lines. So, yes, you should consider this to be the most easiest question. But what we'll try to do is, we'll try to solve this question first. So, S sits third to the left of T. This is T. This is T who's facing north. S sits third to the left of T. This is T. 1, 2, 3. This is S. What's the extra point? T does not sit at any extreme ends of the lines. So yes, pakka there are. We have covered 5 persons because T is not sitting at any extreme ends. So there's only one person. That one person can be to the right side of T because T is not sitting at any of the extreme ends of the lines. First trial S 1 2 T. If I get answer, very good. If I don't, S, 1, 2, T, and this will be the final arrangement. So yes, friends, this is how you try to solve the question. I sits third to the left of T, done. The one who faces T sits second to the left of A. The one who faces T, this person, sits second to the left of A. These are facing south. So left is your right. This person, second to the left of A. Because when somebody faces south, our right is their left. Only two people sit between A and F. This is A and F, done. Both D and D are immediate neighbors of F. D and D are immediate neighbors of F. You are not sure? Next. P sits second to the right of Q. Q is facing north. Q second right. Q second right. Yes, at the right side of T, it's not possible. So P sits second to the right of Q, done. B does not sit at any of the extreme ends of the lines. B is not sitting in the corner. So this is B, A, B, C. C is missing. This is C. Next, neither A nor D faces R. Opposite to A is not R. So only one possibility. P, Q, R, S, T. This is U. But what's the last clue? Neither A nor D faces R. Opposite to R, it's not D. So friends, it has to be E. If it is E over there, this position is left for D. Understood? Yes. So simple and easy question. We have solved this in less than 1 minute. Even if you had gone for the next other case also, we would have solved this in hardly 1 to 1.5 minutes. That's it. Both the cases at the same time, still we would have solved this in 1.5 to 2 minutes. That's it. Nothing more than that. Which of the following group of people represents the people sitting at the extreme ends of the rows? CESR. CESR is second option. Who amongst the following sits second to the left of the person who faces T? T opposite is D. Second left of D, he is facing south, so it should be our right. It is E. Fourth option. Which of the following is true regarding you? R sits to the immediate right of you? No, 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 no. E is an immediate neighbor of the person who faces you? No, no, no. None of this is true. We'll see it later. Only two people sit between U and P. Absolutely right. Fourth option. Ninth. Who amongst the following faces P? It is F2. Which of the following is true with respect to the given information? The first option says none of the given option is true. We'll see. F faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of Q. F faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of Q. No, no, no. B is an immediate neighbor of C. No. R faces E. Yes. Fourth option. 11th question. Yes, this is a different question, and this is a question which is based on input output, and I think this is a very easy question. Many of you would have done this easily. Okay. Yes, let's see this question, what's going on. So as we try to solve the questions, what happens is input output will just explain the logic, and you're supposed to do the rest of the thing. Yes, what's the logic here? Input, we see the input and immediately we'll go to the output. Input, how many elements are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 elements, among which 5 are numbers and 5 are words. So friends, when I see the output, step 5 is the last step. I see all the 5 numbers in one place and all the words in the other place. When I look at the numbers, numbers are clearly arranged in ascending order, small number to the bigger number. When I look at the words, yes, you can expect the logic based on words. Maybe it is on alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. So this is C, M, P, S. All the 5 words are in alphabetical order. So yes, maybe the logics are based on ascending or descending, or for the words it can be on alphabetical or reverse alphabetical, whatever it is, we'll see next. Come on, let's go to step 1 from input. I see 64 in the place of progress. What's the specialty of 64? Among the given numbers, 64 is the highest number. In the left corner I have a new number, so 64 has been shifted. Next, progress 55 to next, computerized has been shifted to the last position. So friends, highest number in the left hand, alphabetical order for word in the right corner. Yes, so the changes are only taking place at the left corner and in the right corner. In step 2, 64, the next number after 64, the number which is highest after 64 is 55. So this is 55 here. So the second position, second highest is 55. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Yes, methods. So every time the changes are taking place only in the left and in the right corner. This is clear. Left, they are shifting number, but which order? Descending. Right, they are adding a word. Which order? Alphabetical order. Which order? Alphabetical order. Every time I see a new element placed only in the left corner and in the right corner. So third highest is 42. Yes, among the numbers shifted 42. After M, NOP. Yes, progress. P comes here. So P, progress, has also been shifted. Simple. So fourth highest 21. After P, QRS. Absolutely. Next 15, and this is 2. So regular question, we have done this type of questions many times. So simple. Every time a new element is added in the left corner and in the right corner. What about the left corner? Numbers. Which order? Descending order. What about the right corner? Words. Which order? Alphabetical order. Every time we'll shift the words in alphabetical order. So friends, yes, this is easy. You can try that. We'll go for the 16th question. Let's see what is the 16th question. What's going on here with the 16th? 8 friends A, B, C, D, F, G, and H live on 8 different floors of a building, but not necessarily in the same order. The lowermost floor of the building is numbered 1, and the one above is numbered 2, and so on, till the topmost floor is numbered 8. So 8 floors building, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chalo, let's try this question. Come on, what's going on here? B lives on floor number 6. B is living in floor number 6. Only one person lives between B and A. Maybe it's 8th or maybe it's 4th. Both the cases at the same time. B is living in the 6th floor. Only one person lives between B and A. Next, only two people live between A and H. Full stop. H lives below A. H lives below A. 1, 2, H. 1, 2, H. Done. H lives below A. Both D and F live on an even number floor. E lives immediately above F. D and F even, and E is living immediately above F. So even 2, 4, 6, 8, F second. Yes, absolutely. And this is E, and D has only one possibility here. Next, F. You can't take 8 because it's above 8 is E, above F is E, immediately above F is E. So there's only one possibility, E. And then D should also be in the one floor. 2 is occupied, 4 is occupied by A, 6 is occupied by B. So 8 is D. This is what you do. Next, G lives on one of the floors below A but not on the lowermost floor. G lives below A. Here there is no possibility, but not in the lowermost floor. This is 7 done. A, B, C is missing C. So this is this question. Who lives exactly between the floors on which D and B live? Immediately between D and B is H, option 2. Which of the following is true about G? Okay, fine. Only two people live between G and E. Is it so? No, no, there are three people. G lives on an even number floor. No, it's odd. Only one person lives between G and H. Absolutely right. Third option. Four out of the following five are alike. A and H. Two floors between A and H. EC. Only one floor between EC. GD. GD. It's two floors. Next, H and F also two floors. B and E also two floors. I think it's EC because there's only one floor between E and C. If C and D interchange their positions, C, D interchange their positions. Who lives between C and H? Who is living between C and H? Here, no one. Third option. Who lives on the lowest most floor of the building? It's C. Fourth option. 21. Okay, fine. Let's see this question. A, B, C, D, F, G, H are sitting around a circular area at equal distance between each other but not necessarily in the same order. Some of them are facing the center while some of them are facing outside. Okay, okay, okay. I see a question which says some of them are facing inside and some of them are facing outside. So always start with the clue whose direction is known to us. So yes, 8 persons sitting around a circular table. Fine. A sits third to the left of C, C faces the center. A sits third to the left of C, C faces the center. 1, 2, 3, A. Done, friends? Yes. Next, what is the next one? Only one person sits between A and H. H sits second to the right of, sorry, E sits second to the right of H. Only one person sits between A and H. Maybe I can take H here or I can take H here. First try, let me try by taking H here. And then what's the extra point here? E sits second to the right of H. Second to the right of H. Second place from H is E. 1, 2. This is A, so this has to be E. And if this side is supposed to be the right of H, then he should be facing inside. Right and left. Understood, friends? Yes. What's going on next? Come on. G sits second to the left of F. F is not an immediate neighbor of A. F is not an immediate neighbor of A. This position is not for F. This position is not for F. Then F has only two places. But whatever it is, wherever you take F, a second place from F should be G. If this is F, 1, 2, it's not possible. 1, 2, yes, it's possible. But if I take F here, 1, 2 is E, 1, 2 is A. So friends, there's only one possibility for F. This is F, 1, 2 has to be G. But what's the point here? What's the point? He says G sits second to the left of F. If this has to be left, he should be facing away from center. Next. D is neither an immediate neighbor of A nor C. D is not an immediate neighbor of A, then D has only one possibility. Yes. Who are left out? A, B is missing, so this is B. So as of now, we got the answer, but we are not sure with the directions. We'll see. And even after doing the directions, if we don't get the answer, there is another possibility where you are supposed to take H here in this place of D. We'll see it. Okay, what's the next point? Immediate neighbors of A, comma D as well as C face opposite directions. Please understand this clue. And if you don't understand this clue, impossible and you will not get the answer. He's talking about the immediate neighbors of three persons. Who are those three persons? A, D and also C. So immediate neighbors of A, comma D as well as C. Three people. Okay. Face opposite direction. So the neighbors of D face opposite direction. D neighbor F is facing what? Is facing outside. So this neighbor should be facing inside. Immediate neighbors of A, G is facing inside. So B has to face outside. And also C. C's neighbor H is facing inside. So E has to face outside. This is what the clue correctly interprets as. The neighbors of A, D and C face opposite directions. Next, A and D face the same direction as E. E is outside. So A and D are also outside. No problem. We got the answer with this case. So this is the final arrangement. What's the question? Who sits exactly between E and H when counted to the right hand side of E? Who sits exactly between E and H when counted to the right side of E is C. Option 5. 22nd. Four of the following five are like, say yes, when you see a question which is based on inside outside, mostly the logic will be based on inside outside. E, A, B, G. E outside, A outside, B outside, G is inside, F is outside, G, fourth option. What is D's position with respect to A? A, second to the right. Second to the right. First option. 24. Who amongst the following are immediate neighbors of F? Immediate neighbors of F are D and E, second option. Who is sitting to the immediate right of H? Immediate right of H is C, first option. 26, okay, 26, different question. We'll see what is this question, 26. I think this is based on critical reasoning. Fine. See, whenever you try to solve any question on critical reasoning, first you should try to understand the correct meaning of the word. You should understand the correct meaning of the word. And if you don't understand the correct meaning of the word, you won't get the answer. This is the problem with critical reasoning. You have to understand the statement and what is the questioner trying to explain in the statement. This is important. What's going on here? Reinforcing its commitment to initiative. Green initiative. Underline this point. Green initiative. Green initiative is something to do with the environment, to protect the environment, or uh, to see nothing damage is being done to the environment. Okay. Reinforcing. What do you mean by reinforcing? Come on, this is what is important. Reinforcing. What is the meaning of the word reinforcing? To make something stronger. To make something stronger. So to make something to make this commitment much more stronger, so the railways department will explore its future course of action to prevent pollution. So to make their initiative to protect this environment, they are going to explore many options to do something better for the environment. This is what he is trying to explain. So future course of action to prevent pollution. They want to reduce the pollution. They want to reduce the pollution. So what might be the steps taken by the railways to reduce the pollution? First, which of the following points will strengthen the decision? Acha, which of the following will strengthen the decision? So they want to protect the environment. They want to see prevent pollution. So what are the steps that will help them to prevent pollution? Introduction of water audit to assess consumption and wastage at major stations. Yes, yes. This will help to save water. So this is also an initiative to protect environment. Okay, this will support. Introduction of biofuel and solar energy in train operation. Yes, solar energy, so it will reduce power which they have been using it by other sources. So solar energy is always a good initiative to protect environment. So this is also strengthening. Installation of rainwater harvesting facility at major stations. Yes, this will increase the groundwater levels. This is also supporting the cost taken by the railways. Use of 5% biodiesel locos. 5% biodiesel in diesel locos. Use of 5%. Always remember one point. Whenever we teach you the topic of course of action, we tell you something. A course of action should be in such a way that it should either solve the problem or mitigate the given problem. What do you mean by mitigating the given problem? Lessen the severity. Lessen the severity. So either it should solve the problem by 100% or it should lessen the severity. Whenever you're talking about lessening the severity, it should try to solve at least by 60 to 70% of the problem. Suppose, for example, I am suffering with a headache. I went to the physician and I recommended him for a tablet, and he suggested me a tablet, and after taking that tablet I should get relieved by headache by 100%, or else it should solve my problem by at least 60 to 70%. I should get relieved at least by 60 to 70% of my headache. But the tablet that is being suggested by the physician, if I take that tablet, if my problem is solved only by 10% or 5%, only 5% of my headache is decreased. So yes, is it helping the cause? No, this is not at all helping. It is neither solving the problem nor lessening the severity. So only 5%. No, no, no. This is not acceptable. So this does not strengthen. So all except 4. Please add 4 over there. All except 4. So yes, this is the answer for this question. Fifth option. Next 27. Okay, again course of again we have a question which is on critical reasoning. Let's see. The government is set to overhaul annual targets for public sector lenders. Overhaul, revise. They are going to revise annual target for public sector lenders. For example, you have public sector lenders, some banks. So somebody who is going to lend some money, they want to make some changes in their annual targets. Acha, fine. Ending a focus on size. Now they are going to end the focus on size. So now they are not going to concentrate on the size of the money that is being lent, because clearly it says ending a focus on size. The size will be reduced. That has long encouraged banks to inflate their loans and deposits at the year end to hit growth objectives. So now their focus is not on the size of the money or the loans that are being lended. Okay, fine. So they're going to revise their targets. They're going to change everything, whatever it is. What is the question? Which of the following points can be inferred from the given information? Inferred, inference. Not clearly given in the statement, but can be guessed. Yes, inference is nothing but that can be guessed. Okay. Ending a focus on size. This is very important for this question. First, credit ratings of the banks will be boosted. Did he talk anything about credit ratings in the statements? No, out of context. Loans and deposits of the banks will go up. Maybe, may not be. Some short term loans will be discouraged by the banks. Yes, short term loans. Money lending is nothing but loans. The statement is talking about loans and ending the focus on size. Ending the focus on size. So, yes, directly related to the given question. Yes, short term loans will be discouraged by the banks. Third. Financial stability of the banks will be lost. No. So, what's the answer? 3 is the answer for this question. Chalo. 28. We'll go with 28 now. Come on. What's 28? Marking a major initiative for urban development in the country. Underline the word urban development in the country. The statement is talking about urban development. Okay, fine. Prime Minister launched the Smart Cities mission. A budget of 3 lakh crores has been allocated, which will be spent on the project in the next 5 years. So, Smart City mission. So they want to develop urban areas. So the Prime Minister has announced how many lakhs? 3 lakh crores, which is a huge amount of money, and this will be spent in the over a span of 5 years. Always remember one thing: smart cities. So they want to develop the infrastructure. They want to develop the cities. The meaning of that is they want to develop the infrastructure, and this infrastructure development can be in any way. Maybe it is on roads, maybe it is on buildings, or maybe it is on drainage, sewage, maybe it is on beautifying the city. It can be on anything. Yes, building houses, building roads, constructing better roads, whatever it is, anything can happen. Which of the following will be an effect of the initiative? So yes, money is being spent, so what will happen? The city will develop. What might be the effect? Chalo, first one, quality of life will improve in rural and urban areas. Rural is out of context. It is not at all told in the statement, so we'll not move with that. Millions of jobs will be created in rural areas. Rural, we won't have any idea. We don't have any idea. Scarcity of the houses will be removed. Yes, when development money is spent on development, the scarcity of houses can be removed, because when government wants to develop the cities or beautify the cities, what they want to try to do is they might build some locality for the poor, and they might give houses at a lesser prices, which is what we are being seeing, even which is done by many governments. So yes, scarcity of the houses will be removed, because the mission is to make the city smarter. Yes, all the villages, we don't know about villages, we only know about urban areas. So what's the answer? Third option. Yes, when money is spent for development, yes, we can say that scarcity of houses will come down. As the global population continues to grow at a steady pace, more and more people are moving to the cities every single day. So more people are going to cities every day. Okay, experts predict that world's urban population will double by 2050, which means adding equivalent of 7 new Delhi cities to the planet every single year. So if the same thing continues, where people are migrating to cities, so by the time it is 2050, the urban population will get doubled. Okay, fine. So it clearly says that the rate at which people are migrating to the cities is going in a fast pace. Next. In India, the urban population is currently 31% of the total population, and it contributes over 60% of India's GDP. Now, please be careful here. Urban population is very less, but the amount which it contributes to the India's GDP is very high. Almost double. Only 31% of the Indian population is living in urban areas, but the contribution that they do to the GDP of India is 60%, almost double. So yes, It is projected that the urban India will contribute nearly 75% of the national GDP in the next 15 years. So in the next coming 15 years, it will increase to 75%. So urban areas will contribute to the GDP. So yes, when there is more revenue in the urban areas, yes, there are more possibilities of getting jobs or whatever it is in the urban area. That is the reason why people move from rural to urban areas. Which of the following cannot be inferred? Which of the following cannot be guessed? Infer is nothing but from the given information what we can guess. That is called inference. Not clearly known but can be guessed from the given statement, that is inference. But the clearly says cannot be inferred. Boost of the infrastructure in the country. Look at this, students. He says most of the people are moving to the urban areas, and the GDP is contribution to the India's GDP is more from the urban areas. Then what will happen? Boost to the infrastructure in the country. Absolutely right. This can be inferred, but we want the one that cannot be inferred. So one is not my answer. Lower contribution of GDP from rural areas. Clearly, directly, this can be inferred because clearly, why can this be inferred? Because tell me. Yes, he told in the statement that more money is coming from urban areas. So this can also be inferred. Migration of people to urban areas, that is what the statement is all about. This can also be inferred. Increase in purchasing power of parity in urban areas, yes, because when people when the number of population increases, then automatically the purchasing power parity of urban areas will also increase. Change in the lifestyle of rural areas, this cannot be inferred. The whole statement is talking only about urban population and the contribution that has been done by the urban areas to the Indian GDP. So rural areas, I am not sure. So what is my answer? My answer is 5 here. 30th question. This is also on, yes. Okay, the same point, same statement. Which of the following can be concluded from the given information? Conclusion 100% true. Inference maybe 50-50. India will be a developed country. No, no, we are not sure. GDP of the country will be boosted, maybe or may not be. Rise in the urban population 100% guarantee, because people are moving at a migrating at a speed pace from rural areas to urban areas. So automatically, yes, the population will increase. So yes, directly derived from the given statement. 3. 31. I have a different question here. What is this? Let's see. Study the following information and answer the questions. 7 friends, namely S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y, attend different hobby classes, namely singing, gardening, knitting, dancing, cooking, yoga, and photography, not necessarily in the same order, from Monday to Sunday. So, yes, Monday to Sunday. Question is based on weekdays. So, person as well as his hobby. Okay. T attends the classes on Tuesday. T attends the classes on Tuesday. Next. Only 2 people attend the classes between T and S, 1 to S. X attends immediately before you. X is attending immediately before you. Immediately before you is X. This is how the arrangement is going to be. Yes, 2 possibilities: Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me try the first option, X and U. And if I don't, immediately I'll come back to Saturday and Sunday. Next, W attends the classes immediately after the one who attends knitting. Immediately after knitting. Immediately after knitting is W. This is how the arrangement is supposed to be. Knitting W not possible, knitting W yes, knitting W S. 2 cases, but continuation. Neither T nor S attends knitting classes. This S is not knitting. At the same time, T is also not knitting. So there's only one possibility. This is knitting and this is W. Done. Next. Only one person attends the classes between the one who attends knitting class and the one who attends photography. Knitting and photography, there's only one person. Done. Next, we attends the classes, or we attends gardening classes. We, only one possibility. This is we who is attending gardening classes. The one who attends yoga attends classes immediately before the one who attends singing. Yoga is immediately before singing. If this is singing, immediately before singing is yoga. So singing yoga, only one possibility. X is singing, T is yoga. Done. Next. X does not attend yoga classes. X is attending singing classes. No problem. W does not attend cooking classes. W is not cooking. There's only one possibility. This is cooking. And what's the profession left out and who is the person? STUV. This is V. Sorry, STUV. WXY. I think it's Y who is missing here. This is Y. Profession dancing is missing. So this is dancing. Done. Simple and easy. What's the first one? Four out of the following five are form a group as per the given arrangement. T photography. T and photography, there's one person in between them. S and dancing, also one person. X and cooking, also one person. V yoga. V and yoga are immediate. U knitting. U and knitting, also one person. So V yoga, fourth option. 32. On which of the following days does Y attend? Y is having on Saturday. Yes, Saturday is fourth option. Yes. 33. Which of the following classes does U attend? U is attending photography. You have photography here, yoga, knitting, cooking and singing. So first option other than those given as the options is my answer. First option. 34. What is this 34? Let's see. If 2 is subtracted from each of the odd digits. Yes, even digit. Very easy. You can do that. Yes, 35. Let's see this 35. The Airport Economic Regulatory Authority cleared an 88% reduction in charges at airport in city S and asked the operator to submit fresh rate slabs for approval. With this order, both the landing and parking charges of the planes and that user development fee will come down at the said airport. Okay, when the parking charges, user development charges, landing charges will come down. So what will happen? Will it benefit the passengers? Absolutely right. Because when the parking charges and user benefit charges, whatever is coming down, the aeroplane operators, whatever the companies are there who operate aeroplanes, they will reduce the prices. Flight fares they will reduce. Which of the following may be the effect of the said? Airlines will charge less when traveling to the from city X as compared to the other. Yes, when the prices come down, absolutely this is what happens. So 35 answer is 1. Next, 36. 8 people G, H, I, J, K, L, M are sitting around a circular table facing the center with equal distance between them, but not necessarily in the same order. Okay, how many persons? 8 persons. Everybody is facing the center. I sit second to the right of M. I sit second to the right of M. 1, 2. M second right is I. Next. Only 2 people sit between I and H. Only 2 people sit between I and H. Left side, right side. Small question. Take it to the right side. Only 2 people sit between I and H. Next, G is an immediate neighbor of both L and H. G, L, multiple possibilities. Next, J is to the immediate left of K. L is not an immediate neighbor of I and K. L is not an immediate neighbor of I. I don't know where is this K, but earlier I have read a clue. G is an immediate neighbor of both L and H. G is immediate neighbor to both L and H. If I take L, problem. So this is G and this is L. Next point, J sits to the immediate left of K. K immediate left J, only one possibility. I think there's only one person left, but still we'll read the next point. L is not an immediate neighbor of both I and K. Immediate neighbor of I is not L and immediate neighbor of K is also not L. So G, H, I, J, K, L, M N is missing, so this is N, none. How many people are sitting between L and I when counted in clockwise direction starting from I? L and I and counted in clockwise direction from I. So this direction. So it's two people, two people. Done? Yes. Next question. 37. What is 37? Who is sitting exactly between the one who is to the immediate left of M? Immediate left of M is L, and the one who is to the immediate right of K. Immediate right of K is H. In between L and H, exactly between, there's only one person, that is G. Next, what is K's position with respect to the one who is to the immediate right of N? What is K's position with respect to the one who is to the immediate right of N? This fellow, I. Second to the right, first option. 39. G is related to J. G is related to J. How is G related to J? Third to the right of J is G. Similarly, H is related to I. H is related to I. Third to the right of I is H. Following the same pattern, who is related to N? N is related to G because third to the right of G is N. Next, who is sitting second to the left of J? Second to the left of J. 1, 2 is N. Option 4. So with this, we complete the explanation for this paper. I hope you have all followed this explanation. Thank you.